Congratulations. What kind of car did you get, Jag? All right, so we just got live here on the New Japan World, the only way to watch. I think so. I'm right now. I'm actually researching that, and it says how to watch. Start time is 1:20 Eastern, 9:20 Pacific. That doesn't right. It's a 3-hour time difference. The times are off. Anyways, yeah, New Japan World. I guess it will cost $10, $7. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, so that New Japan World, I think, is the only way to watch it. Wow, Jag and Audi. Damn, nice. Congratulations. That's a dope car. And I'm not being sarcastic. I really think it's an awesome car. All right. Anyways, guys, I'm about to go live. Tune in if you like. What is up, Rick? And yeah, we're going on live. Yeah, not dump. It's not on Fight. It's gonna be on. It's gonna be on, like you said, on New Japan World. All right, here we go. Oh, no. I have to have that. Okay.
Can you believe that there are some people?
Whoopsie.
Gente! You already know who it is. The radioactive pop with Danny Limelight, the United Wrestling Network World Heavyweight Champion. And make sure you tune into the Alliance blog every week. You heard it here first. Straight from Poppy.
In this world that did not tune in to the Alliance Vlog podcast. Shame on you! Shame on you! My name is Ella Envy, and I'm one half of the NWA Women's World Tag Team Champion. And I'm Kizzy Page, the other half of the NWA World Women's Tag Team Champion. And you better go listen to the Alliance Vlog, what is it called again? Podcast, period. Or you're ugly. Period. You're power approved. Alright.
Wait, hold on. What's going on here? Uh-oh. Are we experiencing technical difficulties? No, say it isn't so. Oh, no. Let's try it again. Well, that's unfortunate. It's all right. We have backup plans. That's what we're here for. I just wish I had known better. What is up, everybody? Real quick, hey, watch this. Hey guys, check this out. I am officially now sponsored by Dubby. Dubby is a clean energy drink made to give you focus with no crash. If you guys are like me, you're always needing a burst of energy, especially with one with no crash. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. It keeps me awake with no jitters, guys. Check it out. Merch link is in the bio. Dubby. I would love to say New year, new me, right? But it's the same old J Cal. What is up, everyone? This is the pre-party, a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information for the National Wrestling Alliance. My name is J Cal. Every Tuesday we come to you here via YouTube or Twitch.tv to celebrate the National Wrestling Alliance, to update you on what's going on with the National Wrestling Alliance ahead of its weekly episodic pro wrestling program, NWA POWERRR, which now is coming live to YouTube. Let me tell you, man, what's up? Happy New Year's to everyone. Merry Christmas if you guys celebrate, or whatever holidays you do celebrate. I'm going to drink my W here real quick. Probably should have shaken that up a little bit more before I got into it. But W, man, check it out. The link is in the bio if you're interested. But yeah, we same Jay, same setup here. I was wanting better for all of us, but unfortunately, I'm just not better. This is like I said, the pre-party. Man, I'm already discombobulated because the camera wasn't working. Real quick, already my friends, you guys come out to celebrate and support, and I appreciate it. I do, I really do. I see that Tim from NWA Gold's here, our pal Heebs, our fair lass from Scotland, Miss Fiona. Thank you, Fee, for being here. Rick is here. James Bell is here. Fiona, every time I watch that video, I just laugh and laugh, because at first I thought it was great that I had these two beautiful young ladies putting over the podcast. I thought it was great, but then seeing Sal's face throughout the entire thing was hilarious. You know what? No J Cal after dark. Just had to fix the camera situation. You know how it goes sometimes. Heeb says New Year, same J. Yeah, it'll never change. Heeb says he's hyped for the full streams ahead on YouTube. I think that was a smart decision. Let's face it. From what we know about it was kind of hard to get a straight answer from the NWA on this one, because it felt like, the more people were pressing, the more that they were deliberately not getting that information to us, right? Like, we were looking at, the renewals were starting to come up for the subscription service through the NWA on Fight, and the premium access. One bit of contention with that too, we never got exclusive content the way they advertised for that. If someone wants to start a class action lawsuit, I'm in for it, because we were told we were going to get specific content to just Fight. It never happened. Now, we had access to pay-per-views, but that's not what they were talking about. At least that's not on the surface what they mentioned. But anyways, I digress. It's no longer an issue, because going forward now, free to all via the YouTube on Tuesdays at 6:05 Eastern, 3:05 Pacific, in whichever time zone you're in. I can't do the math. I'm sorry. But yeah, we'll have Power now, free to all, which I think in the grand scheme of things probably should have been what they did all along. We kind of see that there was a lot of regression through the subscriptions, through the not so much the subscriptions, but from the video views. Remember, prior to the pandemic, when the NWA was free for all on YouTube, on Tuesdays at that 6:05 p.m. Start, we had hundreds of thousands of people would watch those matches, those shows, those episodes. Obviously not the 200,000 or 150,000 live, but you generally have about 10,000 to 18,000 people watching those videos live. And I'm not pulling these numbers out of my butt. Those numbers were verified because I used to watch it live on YouTube with you guys. And I know a lot of other people did. I would keep track of how many people were watching those matches, whether it be, for 5 seconds, 5 minutes, whatever. You would see in the video that there was 18,000 people watching. Just like when you're looking at this video right now, you can see there's probably about, 16, 17 of you guys watching at this moment. The NWA channel would have like 8,000, 10,000, 12,000, 16,000. And by the end of 2 weeks or so, there would be close to 200,000 views on these matches, on these videos. So I guess what I'm saying is, when the NWA left that format because of the pandemic, they were kind of licking their wounds. They were trying to get back into to a more profitable range. Initially, they thought that the streaming subscription service was going to be it, which was a great value if you were if you were a pay-per-view viewer. But in terms of the, I think the long term of it, I don't know that it helped because honestly, if you were gonna buy the pay-per-views before, it just made sense to sign up for the subscription service and get the pay-per-views for free. It's like $50 for the year, but you got all the pay-per-views for free. Now we're gonna be paying per pay-per-view. We're going to be paying for the pay-per-views, and now via YouTube, it's going to be free. So for those who before were not following along because of that, now that has changed. Man, a lot of you guys are still here in the chat. That's awesome. Sam Retro's here. Dave Scooby says, like and share, help grow the show. Absolutely. You guys are aware we do 3 programs a week right now, but that number is going to change. Those are rookie numbers. We're going to bump those numbers up a little bit. We're going to start doing more interviews throughout the month. In fact, got a little schedule here for you, in case you were wondering. On January the 9th, I believe that's next Monday, we'll be inviting Bad Dude Tito from the United Wrestling Network and New Japan Pro Wrestling. He'll be joining us with the Sessions with Jay Cal as an interview. We've also got Matthew Mims, who will be joining us on January the 17th, which I believe is a Tuesday. And then we also have Luke Hawks, who said he will be on the show. We just don't have a date yet, but I'm expecting that to be maybe January 23rd or 24th. So I hope you guys will stick around and like our pal Dave Scooby said, like and share, help grow the show, because we are going to be offering more content here on YouTube and on Twitch.tv. On Twitch, we'll be doing a few other type variety shows. So if you don't have a Twitch account, you might consider getting one, because I hope that it'll be a lot more fun going forward, a lot more stuff to talk about. Happy New Year's, everyone. Let's see. What am I bragging about, DKM? Welcome, DKM. A wild DKM appeared. Yeah, I'm very excited about that. He says, more consolidated eyes on the product we love is best for everyone. I think so too, right? Because if everyone's focused now on the YouTube channel, you're not splitting an audience. Obviously, you're not making that $4.99 a month from Fight or whatever portion of that you would have earned. But now you're getting more views on YouTube. There's a more consolidated place to see it and share it too. Keep in mind, if somebody enjoys the show, it's very easy for them to share it on their Facebook, on their Instagram, on their on their Twitter, and people can consume it that way. Whereas when it's on Fight, it's behind that pay window, and if someone wants to watch it, they can't until Friday. So I think this is a better move for them, and I think this was the right move for them. And I kind of wish they just would have kept that format all along. I think the All Access plan was fun for the pay-per-view viewers. That was great. But now you're going to have to kind of reteach the audience to okay, you're going to have to pay for each and every pay-per-view, which I don't think any of us had a problem with until we were getting them at a much reduced cost. So we'll see how that goes. He says, hire Chris Silvio Esquire for the lawsuit. I think it's a conflict of interest, and I don't think he would represent me. Just saying. Paladin said, Corgan never should have shut down during the pandemic. Plenty of other companies kept running. Paladin, I kind of agree with you. Look, I get the first 6-8 months of 2020 when everything shut down. I could understand why you would take your foot off the gas, maybe shut the doors, maybe figure out some other things to do. I know that there were professional studios out there that were available and literally made themselves available for the NWA to continue producing content that the NWA chose to pass on. Now, remember, it wasn't just the pandemic that caused an uproar. There was a lot of other things, not to mention the disenfranchised talent who wanted to move on. There was also, of course, this Dave Lagana leaving the company under less than positive way of leaving. There's a lot of turmoil there, and I believe at one point Billy was contemplating shit canning the entire thing, which I'm glad he didn't. look, as an NWA fan, whether you're a hardcore fan like me who's been watching it since well, I've been following the NWA very, very closely since about 1999, with the advent of the internet and making it more available, and you can kind of follow some of the NWA promotions. But if you just started following the NWA in the last few years, no one wanted this product to go away. We just wanted it to improve, and hopefully that's what happens. Yes, Rick brings up a great point. The casual fans want to have bought All Access, so it's good to see that it's there now, available for them. Jammin' Music Man, Happy New Year's to you, my good friend. Hoping that you're going to be doing some more unboxing content soon. And if you guys want to see some more NWA-themed content, yeah, check out the Jammin' Music Man. I think he's got a lot of fun stuff in store for 2023. And also Pro Wrestling's own podcast. They're like our sister affiliate. I feel weird calling it sister because I know Rick's a guy, so we'll just say our brother affiliate over at the Pro Wrestling Zone podcast. He says, since the pay-per-views aren't free anymore, that may affect harder to build compelling stories to sell the shows. Yeah, I mean, well, like, look at it this way. Now they have to casually, we all could have just, let me rephrase that. Let me take 2 steps back. If we were just ordering the pay-per-views because they were free, if we were just watching those pay-per-views because they were free, I don't think anyone complained about the value or the content of the pay-per-views while they were happening. I think what happened is people got content with it. In fact, in my circles, a lot of us said that the pay-per-views were really the only good part about the premium access plan. So now that that's gone and you have to build towards something, like I'm not going to just buy because of my commitments to the podcast, Jason, J. Cal, Person A, am going to watch those pay-per-views regardless. But for most of you who aren't as invested as, doing your own podcast and writing about it on the website, maybe you're not going to just tune into every pay-per-view. Maybe a matchup between Tyrus and Matt Cardona doesn't sound like it's worth a $29.99 pay-per-view or $24.99, whatever the price tag is. I don't have the price in front of me, but maybe it's not $24 or $25 or $20, whatever the price is. Maybe it's not worth it to you. So you can make that decision now, like, hey, I'm going to skip this one. And that's perfectly okay, but that might hurt the NWA down the road. So they're going to have to do a better job of making these compelling storylines, giving us matches that we want to see. You can't just mail it in anymore. You have to make it must-see pay-per-views or we're not going to pay for it. And if you're not going to pay for it, then there's certainly going to be an inadequacy when it comes to the NWA making money. So Billy's really going to have to step his game up, which is great. This is all good because they're going to have real numbers in front of them. They're going to say, okay, this worked. I know this worked because I see it. And this didn't work. And I know it didn't work because I can see it. Here's the results. And the results are buy rates, right? Rick, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we're going to do a lot of I'm going to try to get multiple interviews throughout the month. January, February, the whole year, we're going to try to do more interviews. When we first started the Alliance Guys podcast, it was actually an interview type program. It was the shows where we just talk about random stuff. We called the free-for-alls, but each and every episode was basically an interview segment. And so that we changed formats to kind of cover Power, but we might go back to doing more interviews on that format as well. It just depends on what road we decide to take here in 2023. DKM, more content is a good thing. Look, people are asking for the DKM After Dark show, so let me know when you're ready to do that. Sean Mega, what is up? Sean, welcome. Haven't seen you in a while. Luthez, appointment viewing again. It has to be. They have to make it worth our time. They have to make it worth our money. And that's the thing. Like, there's no more free ride, right? Like, there is, but there isn't. Because the YouTube show, like, look, Power was never worth the $4.99 a month. I'm telling you, it just wasn't. The pay-per-views definitely were, but the Power, no, absolutely it wasn't. Power was just an appetizer for the pay-per-views. So now that we're getting, we're actually paying out of pocket for pay-per-view, they have to make them good, or else we're not going to buy them. Dodie says, don't be sad the NWA was stopped during the pandemic. Be happy it returns after the pandemic. That's truth, Dodie. That is very, very true. Hisa says, now that Power is back on YouTube, I hope they'll bring all the episodes of 10 Pounds of Gold. I think that's just dead. I think the reason why you're not seeing that is because the people responsible for that are no longer with the company. Nick Aldis, Dave Lagana, Dave Marquez. I don't think Dave Marquez actually did a whole lot for those 10 Pounds of Gold, except for offer a place for some of the stories to be told. But Josephus, all those guys are, either left the company or unfortunately passed on. So I don't think you're going to be seeing a return of that. I would love it. I would love them to actually do a 10 Pounds of Gold. I always thought that that should have been the premium extras that they threw on Fight, is the 10 Pounds of Gold. But I digress. And he said, thanks for the Happy New Year, man. Yeah, I do. I'm excited that we're all back here. We're all healthy. It seems, we're strong. We're doing well. This community is growing. We're seeing more and more content creators kind of jump together. Hisa, if you guys don't know, Hisa runs the Wrestling Titles Histories. And it's a great website. So much NWA information. If you're a fan of the NWA, you should bookmark that website because it's got a ton of, again, title information, great stuff. As the Alliance continues to grow, we are the Alliance. That's the hashtag you see me use a lot in our posts. Like, we're working with other content creators like Rick from Pro Wrestling Zone Podcast. What's his name? Vinny Berry, WrestleView. Like, I'd like to do more stuff with him in the future. And of course, like, if you guys are creating content, work with us. You share our stuff, we'll share your stuff. Get in board with this community, and we're gonna all try to help each other grow. I saw that Jamin said thanks for the shout out, but that's the whole point, man. All ships are raised in a rising tide. If we all work together, if we all start continuing to put out good content for an NWA community, we can keep growing. It's not just JCal, it's not just the Alliance, it's not just the Alliance guys or the other Alliance guys. There's a whole community out here that I think if we all work together and again produce this great content, you'll start seeing more and more eyeballs on your product. And we're trying to work together anyways. My team was Law Rebellion from the very beginning because they had Jack Stane. I'm a huge Jack Stane fan, and I'm a huge Law Rebellion fan. So that was my team all along. Paladin says Nick Aldis is now a free agent. Yeah, he is. So is Colby Carino. There's a lot of free agents out there, and I'm curious to see. Like, I know for sure Nick Aldis, man, he's doing some good stuff with that the Dungeon. I'm not sure what the promotion's actually called, but it's the promotion associated with the Hart family in British Columbia, in Canada. And I know that they have the next show that they have. It's going to be a title match with Nick Aldis defending his Stu Hart championship against Chris Adonis. So, I mean, I feel like they're kind of borrowing from the NWA slightly, but hey, that's a good match. I watched that match when they wrestled in Puerto Rico. I would watch that match anywhere else. If you guys are following the product, that's great. I'm not really keeping up on a whole lot of what Nick Aldis is doing, but I've always wanted to see that guy succeed. Wherever he lands, I want to see him succeed. He's a hell of a talent, just kind of an asshole sometimes. Oh, don't cancel me. Don't cancel me. Sam Retcher says, I definitely missed those 10 Pounds of Gold episodes. That's what sold me the NWA in 2017. I agree, man. I really felt like that was such a good series. And I wish it would come back. I really wish it would. Let's see. Jammin' Music Man says, what are some of the shows from the 2000s I recommend checking out? Any of the anniversary shows, because you'll see such a great amount of talent. Like, so in the 2000s, right, from the 2000s till about the time that TNA received their licensing agreement from the National Wrestling Alliance, there were many, many promotions, all of which were kind of doing their own thing. So there was like NWA Florida with Joe Price, and he had he was putting out a lot of DVDs at the time, featuring a lot of Steve Corino matches when he was champion. I recommend those. There was, I think think it was called Cyber. So gosh, I wish Chris was in the house. Chris would know which one it is, but there was a promotion based out of New Jersey with Billy Firehawk. He was the promoter of the late Billy Firehawk, and it was like NWA Cyber something or other. And that was a lot of good stuff there. That was kind of like a hybrid between the NWA and TNA wrestling at the time. You'd see a lot more NWA talent working with some of the TNA talent. They had a lot of title matches there. Of course, my good friend Dave Marquez, who was doing the Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Even before that, he was working on NWA Liberty States, the NWA Pro Wrestling show that I think that aired from I want to say like 2007, 2008. There's a lot of stuff in between there. If you can go check out the Sawmill stuff, the NWA Saw, there's a lot. There's so much out there. Of course, I've totally forgot about the NWA Anarchy and then NWA Wildside stuff. They still have the channel out there. That stuff is still available. Sometimes a little bit harder to watch because the quality isn't great, but definitely some fun stuff there. Like I recently watched Terry Taylor wrestle Colorado Kid Mike Rapata in an NWA North American Championship match. It was a lot of fun. Our pal Pro Wrestling Zone wants to remind you that Vinny will be on his podcast on the 29th. And Rick, you never have to apologize, man. You're part of this deal, bro. You're allowed to tell us what you're doing, what you're up to. Erlinda Weird, the NWA prided itself in history, but they hide the 10 pounds of gold series, which played an important part of it being revived. That is a very profound thing to say and very accurate. I agree. That's right, Sam. Dungeon wrestling. That is right. I forgot about that. Heeb says, Jammin', there's a nice playlist of NWA Saw from 2013 to 2015. Yeah, there's some good stuff there. Of course, if you can go back and check out the Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, like the first season was all about the 10 pounds of gold. It was establishing the feud between Colt Cabana and Adam Pearce. Then they obviously Pearce would lose the title. Cabana would eventually win. The title would end up on the Sheik outside of the NWA. And then at that point, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood kind of focused on its in-house titles until Adam Pearce came back with the championship. A lot of fun matches at that place too. There's a lot of great content out there. Jody says, since we love Champion Series and the old 10 pounds of gold series, and I agree most of the power storylines suck, how about the NWA shifts its booking into a more competitive based, kind of like MMA vibe? Jody, you're onto something, brother. That would be pretty interesting. It would be different. I don't know if it works long term. Short term, I think it's great to set up storylines for the future, but I don't know if you could continue to go on and on with it. I guess you could. Theoretically you could put that like just a team series for the entire year and make it about the dichotomy of the teams, the behind the scenes, like maybe not everyone on a team gets along. You could do trades like in sports, like baseball, football, and maybe someone can be pissed off that they got traded, or you can release somebody and somebody else picks them up. There's a ton of ways they could go with this, and I could actually see that being very interesting, especially the behind the scenes stuff. But I don't think the NWA is willing to do that. Dodie brings up Wrestling Birmingham. Yes. I didn't know they had stuff up on YouTube. That was one of those promotions that I wish was uploading back then, but I'm glad they are now. And yeah, Jammin', Cyberspace, that was it. That was the one. Dodie brings up, of course, all of what Dave Marquez did to the NWA. He was the definitive of what you think the NWA during the 2000s, especially the post-TNA era. Yeah, all that. Metro Pro was good. Yeah, Metro Pro was good too. I really like Sawmill, the Saw shows, because I felt like that had a very good vibe to it. Very Southern wrestling, very what you think of when you think of the NWA. That was a good one too. Sean brings up NWA Virginia. There was also Mountain State, Smoky Mountain. There are a lot of promotions had TV at the time. Of course, NWA on Fire. If you just go out there and look for it, you can find it. Oddly enough, if you go to NWA on Fire and search like the Australian NWA on Fire, it was a lot of the first couple of seasons of the NWA Pro Wrestling show rebranded. A lot of fun stuff. Wow, that was 30 minutes of me just rambling. Yeah, see, Rick, that's exactly. They had a good look, a good vibe. Like, I didn't love everything about Saw. Don't get me wrong. There was a lot of things that I would have done differently. But you had our boy Jeremiah Plunkett was there. Damian Wayne would show up from time to time. Kojima came to defend his 10 pounds of gold, don't you know? I think they had Chase Stevens there for a while, too. Dodie brings up Wildcat also used to be an NWA promotion. Yeah, Wildcat was good, or is good. I didn't know they had a web series, but yeah, that's something you should check out as well. LT Falk versus Cliff Compton. Is Cliff Compton? No. Okay, never mind. Cliff Compton, somebody else. Cliff Compton was the kick him in the balls from the Great Udi. If you guys never heard that story, you got to search that out. The Great Udi. I think it was Luke Gallows and Cliff Compton. That was a fun one. Jammin' Music Man says, I recently discovered a promotion called Extreme Canadian Championship Wrestling that had the Untold TV pilot that had Carino versus Sabu. Yes, that's right, Jammin'. I just watched that recently. Well, I guess probably about a year ago now. But yeah, see, that's the thing. Like Carino and Sabu both held the 10 pounds of gold separately. I don't think they ever actually had a match for the title. I think it never had. I could be wrong, and I should probably look it up before I say anything more, but I don't think they actually wrestled for the world title, but they built up to it. And at the same time, you had Carino chasing Sabu in ECCW. You also had Sabu being chased by a very young AJ Styles down there in Anarchy, or I guess back then it was Wildside. And you had a very young AJ Styles long before he'd win the title, feuding as a heel against a babyface Sabu. So there's a lot of fun stuff out there if you can find it. So one of the things that I did want to mention today, and I'm sure a lot of you guys, if you're on Twitter, you already saw it, but how do you feel about our world junior heavyweight champion defending the title in GCW? Now, I heard or I read or maybe someone even told me that Billy actually is very keen on working with GCW. And boy, did you see the tweets that Kerry Morton was getting all kinds of heat. And Kerry even saying things like, I'm your next GCW world champion. And I think that's amazing because we've talked about it here and on the other Alliance guys, the whole idea of packaging Colby Carino with Kerry Morton as this fortunate son tag team gimmick. But man, maybe Kerry's going to go on to be this monster heel in GCW the same way we wanted him to be a babyface in the NWA. A heel in the NWA. But yeah. He says Chase Stevens went to a 30-minute draw versus the Iron Man for the 10 pounds of gold. Yeah, and Rob Conway, like, he does not get enough credit. Conway was doing the thing. You know, when I look back historically at the World Heavyweight Champions in the last 20 years, the guys that you need to look at, I say 20 years, disregard the Impact era. 2007 to 2023, so like 16 years. Look at the last 16 years. You got to look at pay respects to Rob Conway, who was doing the damn thing. Like, he was defending the title in Japan, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Wrestle Kingdom. Wrestle Kingdom's tonight, right? Rob Conway has Wrestle Kingdom 8 defending the 10 pounds of gold. That's amazing. Sure, he lost the title to Kojima, but no other NWA World Heavyweight Champion has ever defended the 10 pounds of gold on a Wrestle Kingdom show. That's the equivalent of defending the 10 pounds of gold at WrestleMania. It's almost the same. Almost. Not quite, but almost. It never happened. You know, so Rob Conway gets a lot of credit for that. Also, during that time, he was defending the title all over, the South. I say the South. In Texas, in Tennessee, and in some of the Midwest states. He was really getting out there doing the thing. Same thing, I'd give credit to Blue Demon Jr., although a lot of people seem to a lot of people seem to not give that guy his flowers for whatever reason. But again, he was defending the title in the United Kingdom, defending the title in Spain. It's probably the last NWA World Champion to defend in Spain. Didn't defend the title, but wore the belt when he wrestled in Japan. Of course, defended in Mexico, Canada, the United States. Had a lot of ongoing feuds in Southern California, Northern California. His feud with Oliver John for Pro Wrestling Revolution for the 10 pounds of gold. His feud with Adam Pearce down here in Southern California. His appearances on the Pro Wrestling Showcase, the Wrestling Summit, DVDs that Dave Marquez was producing. He was a vital part of the growth of the NWA during his time as champion. And I think a lot of people sleep on that. Of course, Adam Pearce, I think, did as much for the NWA, if not more, than what Nick Aldis did. And I know that gets a lot of controversy because Nick Aldis, he was backed by Billy Corgan. He was, he had to make dates himself, yes, but like a lot of his bookings came because of the NWA, because of Billy Corgan and the relationship that he had with a lot of the wrestling promoters out there. So like, getting the 10 pounds of gold in China, having Aldis defend against Colt Cabana. That was a match booked by Dave Marquez. If Adam Pearce would have been world champion at that time, that would have been Pearce versus Cabana in China. But on his own, Pearce was able to take the 10 pounds of gold to Australia. He's able to take the title to Germany. I think he was the last world champion to defend in Germany. He took the title to the United Kingdom. And, of course, wrestled in Mexico, Canada, all over the United States. So there's a lot to be said for what Pearce did as world's heavyweight champion as well. Not to mention, I talk about the international title defenses, but just the United States, Pearce was a guy who literally was wrestling every other weekend. And he was wrestling on, the biggest shows and the smallest shows. He was wrestling, in championship wrestling from Hollywood. He was wrestling in NWA Mountain State. He was wrestling for more than a few promotions in Texas. Wrestling for Smoky Mountain. Wrestling for, a lot of the promotions. And so you got to give that guy his just desserts. NWA East, which is the same promotion that Corey Graves came out of. So he did a lot to help carry that brand for such a long time. And people sleep on him all the time. Dave Scooby says Barrett Brown versus Kerry Morton needs to happen. I did see that. I wanted to talk about that too, but so much to talk about. Yeah, Barrett Brown versus Kerry Morton. If it doesn't happen, it'll be a shame. Kerry Morton, look, Barrett Brown doesn't have to go over. He doesn't have to walk away with the junior heavyweight championship. But a matchup between the two should happen. And there's enough storyline that, hell, you can even do this on TV. Barrett Brown is wrestling for New Japan Strong. He's making his name in another company who, he helped carry the NWA in some of its darker days. He should be recognized as a former champion that never lost the belt. He should be able to come into the NWA demanding that title shot, and the NWA should make it happen. It would be great. It would be fun. And that's what wrestling is supposed to be, is fun. All right, let me see. Let me get to some of your comments that I when I was running off on. Heap says, I just watched Heidi Lovelace versus Taylor Hendricks and on Saw today and liked LT Falk and Cliff Compton. Yeah. Taylor Hendricks was hot there for a minute. I thought she was going to kind of make it to one of the big two, but never happened. Sam Retro says, I hope Billy announces the venue for Enough Said. Yeah, I can't wait to hear what it is. Heap says Chase Stevens to 30-minute. Oh, yeah, that's right. I read that one. James Bell's been watching USWA with Poyo on her Twitch channel. Yeah, I've been meaning to jump in on that. It's just bad timing for me. Like, it's usually in the evening, and that's usually family time for me, so it's hard to get to that, but I would like to. Heap says, makes me want to get Fight Plus for future NWA GCW collabs. Yeah, look, it's $4.99 a month. It's not that bad of a deal. Sam says, I like that. I was hoping Kerry defended the title when they announced that match a few days back. Yeah. Yes, I think it's cool that he's defending out of the NWA. I think that's until the NWA becomes exclusive and they don't let their talents wrestle outside of the NWA. I think that's a must. I think every champion should be defending outside of the NWA. Rick says, I don't mind it getting out there. I tuned in for that match, but not too keen on deathmatch wrestling, so don't really watch GCW because of that. Yeah, that's not for me either. I'm not a big deathmatch guy. I absolutely love that Kerry's out there trying to defend it, trying to get the title out there. But yeah, I'm not a GCW guy either. Dodie says, of course, it's good to see the NWA title defended in multiple promotions, including the promotions as famous as GCW. Yeah. Sean Mega said Bruce Tharp. Yeah, Bruce Tharp deserves some credit too. Like, and as much as we clown on him, like getting the deal with New Japan was huge for the NWA. Even if it didn't end the way some of us would have liked, I think it was great getting that title. Why am I looking at the camera that's not even working? Oh, geez. Getting that title in such a prominent place, even if it wasn't the main event, it didn't have to be the main event. It was on television. It's huge. And pay-per-view. Dodie says the holy trinity of the NWA in 2010 to 2012, Metro, Hollywood, and Rampage Pro Wrestling. Unfortunately, maybe only Metro Pro is still available completely in YouTube as of now. I didn't know that. I didn't know Metro was still available. Shawn Mega says Blue Demon got backlash from the fans and the wrestlers because of the CMLL NWA titles. There was more than that, Sean. The NWA promoters refused to book him, and that was stupid. He had to work for the same minimum, and we won't talk about too much there, but he had to work for the same price that Adam Pearce was working for, that the Sheik worked for, that Colt Cabana worked for. And I remember a promoter telling me that another promoter told him that Demon doesn't work in that area because there weren't a lot of Latinos in that area. And I thought that was the stupidest thing I'd ever heard. I get that Lucha Libre might not be a draw in certain parts of the country, but when you present that this is the world's heavyweight champion and he's got the 10 pounds of gold, the same belt held by Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, the same belt that was held by Kerry Von Erich and so many great legends in professional wrestling. And then you tie it to like Jeff Jarrett, AJ Styles, and Rhino Raven, and Steve Corino, and all these great names, and Adam Pearce, and Brent Albright, right? And then you put the belt on Blue Demon Jr., who's a legend in Mexico. And you're telling me you can't make that work? Turn in your booker's card, bro. You don't belong. If you can't make that work, get out of here. There's no way. Dodie says, imagine Adam Pearce was the face of early Lightning One. Imagine him in 10 pounds of gold video. Imagine that. That would be 10 stars. Yeah, I think if look, I don't want to devalue anything Tim Storm did for the NWA. Tim Storm was great. The NWA was lucky to have Tim Storm. Right now, I'll tell you this, the best thing they ever did with the NWA was allowing Tim Storm to be that champion, to allow that torch to be passed to Nick Aldis. That whole storyline worked, but it only worked because you had a guy like Tim Storm and you had a guy like Nick Aldis. Could they have done a good story with Adam Pearce? 100%. He could have done either side of that, right? He could have been the Tim Storm of that story. He could have been the Nick Aldis of that story. But I imagine if they would have done a 10 pounds of gold similar to that when Adam Pearce was world champion, a lot more people would know who Adam Pearce was. Sam Retro says, I've been wanting to see Barrett Brown back since the NWA 70th. Yeah, man. I mean, they threw him a bone. And he had a great Cruiser Junior Heavyweight match at the 70th anniversary show, and then just left him out to dry. And I don't know if he said something inappropriate or rubbed somebody the wrong way, but they just left him out there. And I thought, wow, that was crazy. He would have been the perfect guy to bring in and be like, hey, I never lost this, but the storyline's already there. You know what I mean? Like, Barrett Brown versus Homicide would have worked. Barrett Brown versus Austin Aries would have worked. Barrett Brown versus Colby Carino would have worked. And Barrett Brown versus Kerry Morton would work. I don't know why they haven't done it yet. Dodie says, yes, Kerry versus Barrett Brown, either in GCW or New Japan Strong or NWA. Book it, Billy. Yeah, and any of those places would be fine, too. I don't think New Japan Strong would want it because they don't really go out there to advertise title matches that don't belong to New Japan Strong. But I wouldn't be surprised. I just don't think it's going to happen there. Dodie says, I'm a Blake Troop guy, future world champion. Maybe. I don't see it. I like Blake a lot. I don't see him being the next world champion, but I certainly could see him going after Scion in the national championship. I think that would be fun. And Fee, breaking news, the Tampa venue has been announced. Egypt Shrine Center for the pay-per-view and WEDU TV studios for the tapings. That's cool, man. I'm glad that they're doing it in Tampa, doing the TV tapings in Tampa. I really didn't like the fact that they shot the pay-per-views in St. Louis and then ran back to Star, what's it called, the Starlight Studios in Nashville. I didn't feel like it gave them a lot. Dodie says Kerry started defending the title outside of the NWA. We have him after Camille and Sion outside of the controversial world champions. Many of the NWA champions are doing good. Agreed. 100% agreed. Shawn Michaels says if Lucha can draw and Nashville can draw anywhere. Yeah, agreed. Again, 100% agreed. And Shawn Michaels just, I'm going to start calling you for real, man, because you're speaking the truth. Shawn Michaels says Pope can be the next Tim Storm. Undoubtedly so. He would be better. Let me rephrase that. I don't want to say anything bad about Tim. I love Tim. Tim's great. But the Pope is so electric. Tim was very down to earth. Pope is very electric. Pope could tell a great story. Yeah. Anyways, we'll jump back on that. Fiona says she got the info from an email from then today about the subscription service stopping. Okay. Well, that's good. Sam didn't like that they went back to St. Louis or back to Nashville either. Yeah, I thought that they should have just done something local. If I flew to St. Louis to see the pay-per-view and then they go back to Nashville for the TV tapings, that means I got to jump on a plane to go to Nashville to catch those tapings. That's hard on a wayward traveler trying to follow the end. I keep looking at the wrong camera. Jesus. Rank amateur. Same year, New Year, same J-Cal. Tonight, okay, what else do we know about what happened in the last few weeks? Okay, well, we do know that we've got not a title match, a no tables match announced for the first episode of the NWA Power Live. Now, what's great about this is, Bully Ray does have some star power, right? He's got some value. When you bring him onto the show, especially on YouTube, that means people are going to be there to watch. They're going to see Bully Ray and like, oh, I just watched him in Impact. He's getting ready to go challenge Josh Alexander for the Impact World Championship, but now he's facing Odinson in the NWA. That's going to grab some attention for sure. And of course, we know that Camille will be in action. I don't know if it's a world women's title defense, but more than likely it will be. And of course, she's coming off of her big tour of the UK, wrestling a few matches, doing some seminars out there. And then announced is the power couple of Psycho Love, Angelina Love, and Fodder. I know nothing about this. I have almost zero interest in it, to be honest. I've heard people speculate that Fodder looks a lot like a national champion for MLW, but we won't get into that. Who knows what this is, but hopefully they do something good with that. I'm not holding my breath. It's not for me. That's for people who like that sort of thing. Okay. And then, of course, the championship series continues tonight. Champions series. Now, here's where I'm a little confused because wasn't Taya Valkyrie announced that she was banned from the rest of the Champions series because of the assault that she supposedly gave to La Rosa Negra? But there she is. She's back in action tonight. In fact, she will be taking on Angelina Love, where you got Team Rock and Roll taking on Team Great. Also in women's action, Team Rock and Roll's Madi and Jennacide are taking on Missa Kate and Natalia Markova. Now, Madi and Jennacide, this looks like an odd pairing on the surface, but you have to remember both these ladies have spent a lot of time in Mission Pro. Both of them have held titles in Mission Pro. It kind of feels like this Team Mission Pro here. Another promotion that I wish would do more with the NWA and vice versa. And they're taking on Team Greats, Natalia Markova and Missa Kate. Why does Missa Kate look like such a sweetheart in this photo, and she's such a jerk when she's wrestling? Natalia Markova obviously has been one of the standard bearers of the NWA women's division. I really think she'll be a solid addition I think that match will be a solid hard-hitting type matchup. And then you guys, of course, come out here to correct me. Valkyrie was banned until 2023. She was suspended for a month. Okay, fair enough. I mean, we all know these were taped in the same week, right? We all know this happened all at the same time. But all right, we'll roll that. And then, excuse me, guys. And then, of course, more matches for this evening. We go on to Team Rebellion versus Team Tyrus. And the team of Tyrus, you've got Carnage, EC3, and our friend Thrillbilly Silas. We got to get Thrillbilly on. I think Poyo can make that happen. We got Carnage, EC3, and Thrillbilly taking on Colby Carino, Odinson, and Joe Alonzo. Now, Joe Alonzo recently signed with the NWA. Colby Carino recently announced he is a free agent of the, he's not locked up to any one company. So that doesn't necessarily mean that Colby's done in the NWA, by the way. It just means that he's able to wrestle anywhere he chooses to. So, if Colby gets an opportunity to wrestle in AEW or New Japan Pro Wrestling or the WWE, he could take that without any repercussions. And also we have in action another women's tag team match with Samantha Starr and Kayla Kassidy taking on Max the Impaler and Ashley D'Ambrose. D'Amboise. Am I saying that right? D'Amboise? Anyways, man, when you put Max in the match, everything else kind of gets a little soft around the ears. I think Max is such a devastating talent that when you put them in the ring with anybody, it's not going to end well for the opponents of Max. All in all, I'm looking forward to tonight's episode of the NWA POWERRR. The Champions Series has not disappointed thus far. If you guys have been watching it throughout the holiday season, you've probably watched more than I have. But it looks really good. I've been enjoying what I've seen, and I'm really excited to see what they're going to do tonight. The NWA has been kind of on a roll, right? So they have these champion series, which for my part has been very good TV. Now you're announced that you're going back to YouTube full time, no restrictions, no pay window. Power is free to all. Awesome. I think that's a good, smart move. Then you've announced Enough Said. You have the live event. You have the live Power on the 23rd of this month. Awesome, right? Then you've got. That probably means Luke won't be available for that. Never mind. We'll get back to that later. Then you've got the live Power. Then you've got the pay-per-view coming up in February. Then you've got the World as a Vampire Festival in Mexico City that your boy Jay might go to. I don't know. I just spent a whole week in Mexico. I think I can stomach a few more days in Mexico City to see Smashing Pumpkins and the Interpol and a bunch of other bands I've never heard of, highlighted by AAA versus the NWA. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And I've got a passport. I've got frequent flyer miles. I think I could do it. I'm thinking about doing it. Should I do it? Leave a comment below if you think I should go to Mexico to witness the AAA versus NWA show. I mean, they got to be taping that for TV, right? They have to, right? But would it be worth my while to see it live? That's my question to you. Anyways, we're getting close to wrapping up the end of the show. We are just 7 minutes away from the latest offering of POWERRR. And I got to say, guys, it's been a real treat to be here right now, to be here with you guys. I took a week off at the end of the year, and it was such a good time. It was so fun. I was in Mexico. I got to see some water crash, some ocean waves crash. And I went to the Walmart and bought Lucha Libre toys. You can't get these in the United States. Sorry, I just wanted to show off. So you guys are telling me to do it. Let's see. So Jody says do it. Eve says do it. Fee says do it. Sam says do it. Fiona, you're going to Tampa, and I'm jealous that you're going to be in Tampa. Number one, I kind of wish I was going to Tampa because I can hang out with you, say what's up. But I don't know, Tampa. I've got a lot of shows that I'm planning to go to this year. I am going to be heading to the 75th anniversary show. I know no card has been announced yet. Whether it's in St. Louis or wherever it's going to be, your boy Jay will be at the 75th anniversary show 100%. I'm also planning to go to a Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiator show that's also in the month of March. So it's going to be it's going to be hard to get into Mexico, but I think I've got the wife convinced because it's not going to cost a lot. I mean, I already have a passport. I already have frequent flyer miles, so my flight there will be cheap. It's not a long flight to Mexico City, just a little bit further than flying to Dallas. And who knows, maybe I will. Fiona said she had holidays I had to use by March. Yeah, I mean, I get it. And Tampa's beautiful, right? You're going to be by the ocean, I think, right? Anyways, I mean, Florida, especially in the wintertime, is a nice place to be. And the wrestling should be great. I'm jealous, like I said. I would love to go and hang out and see my guys and say what's up to a lot of the talent that I'm friendly with. And of course, it looks like a fun show. I'm going to be main evented by Tyrus versus Matt Cardona. I can only assume because that's why they're signing the contract on the 23rd for. But yeah, I think you're gonna have a lot of fun, Fiona. So I enjoy. You can be the field reporter for the Alliance if you like. Retro says he's going to be there at the 75th. Anyone, I'm putting this out there now. The 75th anniversary. I need to meet you guys. I need to hang out. We need to have dinner and some drinks or something. And even if you're sober and you don't drink, have a Coca-Cola or a Pepsi or a Mountain Dew or whatever's. A nice iced tea maybe. But we should definitely all meet up at the 75th anniversary. So whoever's going, get in my inbox, DM me, because I think this would be an awesome time to all, at least do one night where we hang out together. I think Scoob is going to be there. I think NWA Gold is going to be there. Yeah, of course, beer. Of course, beer. Unless you don't drink. If you don't drink, you don't have to drink. No one's going to force you to drink. But yeah, we should. Rick, are you going to go to St. Louis, Rick? Or are you talking about Tampa? Because if you're going to 75th, we're going to meet up there. Let's see, Fiona. Yes, of course. Of course, Fiona, but you're not going to the 75th, are you? You're going to Tampa. Retro, Sam, I'm down to meet everyone from the community in St. Louis. Cool. Get in my DMs, guys. I'm going to plan something. We'll get reservations at a restaurant or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But we're going to meet up, and we're going to have an Alliance. We are the Alliance get together, drink and talk, whatever. All right, Rick, I'm gonna see you there for that for sure. We're gonna grab a beer too. Whatever it is, guys. I just want to meet you guys. I want to take a picture with you, and I want to say thank you personally for being a part of this community. I want to put a face to your usernames. This has been such a fun last year. It was so fun. And all of you guys, most of you guys have been here for that ride. I'd like you guys to continue on with me in 2023. Like I said, we're going to be doing some more content here on YouTube and on Twitch. If you don't have a Twitch account, get one, because I'm going to be doing some stuff that's live on Twitch that will end up on YouTube at some point, but live on Twitch just because I want to try to grow in that community as well. And it's been such a fun 2022. I'm so glad that in 2023, you guys are all here. We're all moving forward together. You know, I'm real excited, very, very excited. I think the NWA is on the right path. I think we're all going in the right direction. And I really feel like things are going good for the NWA, good for the United Wrestling Network, good for the Alliance blog, and hopefully good for you guys. I hope you're all having a great 2023 so far. We're only a day into it, but sorry if I seem a little sentimental. I missed you guys. It was a whole week. I didn't see you guys. So I'm glad you're here with me today. We're going to wrap it up now because I see that we're getting close to that 60-minute mark, and I don't want to keep you guys from watching Power, which, you know, it's just on the YouTube channel now. Dodie, stream the Alliance meeting on YouTube. That would be pretty badass. That would be fun. Maybe we will. At the very least, I'm going to record some of it. But yeah, maybe doing a live stream would be kind of cool. And we have the technology. We could build it. We can do it. The Alliance at the Chase will be cool. It would be fun. It'd be cool if Dodie could make it out, but I know that's quite a travel from Indonesia all the way to St. Louis. But anyways, guys, no more sentimental, no more sadness, all happy, all good stuff. Very glad that you guys have been here. Hope you'll continue to be here. Remember, tomorrow we've got the other Alliance guys. That's Tim, Jeremy, and Scoob, and they're going to be talking about what's going on with some of the new contract signings. I think they're going to talk a little bit more about YouTube and in general, just kind of talking more NWA with you guys. I hope you'll check them out on Tuesday. Of course, Thursday, the Alliance Guys Party, the show that started them all. It'll be me, and hopefully DKM will be ready to return, get back in that co-host seat with our pal Jaden as we discuss the ins and out of Power, the Champion Series, and everything else that's happening in the NWA. And yeah, missed you guys. Very glad to be here. Very glad you guys were here. Until then, we're going to see you guys at... Wait, I have to close that comment. I can't have that. All right. We'll see you guys at the matches. Thanks for checking out the pre-party, a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com. You should hit that subscribe button and join our community. I also want to remind you that we recap NWA Power every Thursday at 8 p.m. in the live stream. We try to stay social, so find us at the Alliance blog. And until next time, we are the Alliance.